Thank you very much for joining us to celebrate 48th Jamhuri Day. This is the single most important day in our national calendar of events because it reminds us of the momentous day in 1963 when Kenya attained her independence. It is also the day when we take stock of the state of our nation and prospects for the future. Since 1963, to date, we have realized tremendous achievements as a country in several of our socio-economic sectors, such as the fight against poverty, ignorance, and disease. During the last 48 years, we have also realized major achievements in key sectors such as in education sector, with 8.5 million children benefiting from free primary education, provision of better health care facilities, including the provision of free antiviral drugs for HIV and AIDS patients, and free anti-malaria and TB drugs. Other achievements realized include expansion in rural electrification, energy sector, expansion in our tourism facilities, expansion in our information, communications, and telecommunications sector, with the 3 fiber optic cables wiring the whole country, expansion in irrigation projects in our arid and semi-arid areas, improvement in agricultural sector, manufacturing sector, wholesale and retail, business process outsourcing, and financial services. We have also made major progress in the rapid development of our human resource with 34 universities to date, and with our skilled manpower spread all over Eastern and Southern African region. In addition, during the 40 years of the present coalition government, massive investments have been made in the infrastructure development throughout the whole country, and this includes roads, railways, airports, and airport transport in such a manner that it would be impossible to refer to any region in Kenya today as remote. Since 1963, we have also made huge advances in gender policies, expansion in our democratic space, upholding of fundamental human rights, and youth empowerment. In Kenya today, we also have a very vibrant media that is free to discuss any topic without fear, and a very active civil society, which is essential for the advancement of our democratic principles. In terms of peace and stability, since the attainment of independence, Kenya has also seen and continues to be a beacon of peace and stability in the region. Over the period, we have also been a key regional peacemaker. Again, and because of our strategic location, Kenya has continued to be the natural gateway to the Eastern and the Great Lakes region, with its fairly well-developed northern transport corridor that links Kenya to 11 other neighboring countries, including Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC Congo, Ethiopia, and Southern Sudan. Kenya also continues to be the epicenter of the UN peacemaking and humanitarian activities within the Eastern and Central African region. Kenya also hosts the global headquarters of both the United Nations Environment Programme and the UN Habitat. Kenya also continues to play an active role at the Commonwealth Secretariat and is also a current member of the International Maritime Organization governing body. In the fight against piracy of the Indian Ocean, Kenya continues to play a frontline role. In terms of Kenya-UK relations, I'm happy to say that both Kenya and United Kingdom continue to enjoy long-standing friendly relations deeply rooted in very close historical ties. It is Kenya's strong commitment and a desire to strengthen these strong bonds of friendship and excellent relations even further for the mutual benefit of our two countries. Our excellent relations with the United Kingdom also find eloquent expression in our very close cultural and sporting ties. Such cultural links have been reinforced by the presence of a sizable diasporas in both countries, including the presence of slightly over 3,000 Kenyan students pursuing advanced studies in the various UK universities. At the bilateral level, both Kenya and the United Kingdom continue to enjoy excellent commercial relations. For example, the United Kingdom was last year Kenya's second largest export market after Uganda. In 2010, for example, the aggregate trade between the two partners was sterling pound 974. The trade balance was in favor of Kenya. We have also established a niche market for some of our leading products here in the United Kingdom, such as tea, coffee, flowers, fruits, and vegetables. With regard to tourism, the United Kingdom remains the leading source of tourists to Kenya, with 174,000 tourists visiting the country in 2010. That is a 6% increase from the 2009 figures. We also continue to address our visitors' key concerns back at home, and especially improvements in our infrastructure to various tourist facilities, improvement in security through the ongoing police reforms, and provision of additional high-quality hotel accommodation, among others. With regard to investment promotion in general, the United Kingdom remains by far the single largest foreign investor in Kenya. British investments in Kenya are estimated to be approximately sterling pound 2 billion, with over 68 companies spread over most sectors of our economy. This year, for example, 4 high-level trade missions by British companies were undertaken to Kenya, from the Birmingham City on security, aid-funded businesses, London Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the visit by the Lord Mayor or the commercial ambassador to the City of London that went to Kenya in September this year. In particular, the Lord Mayor's trade mission to Kenya proved very successful in helping to raise the profile of Kenya as a market with great potential for the UK financial services. The visit also helped to secure increased interest from the London financial services industry to Kenyan opportunities. In terms of the political scene, one of the greatest achievements realized in independent Kenya was the adoption of a brand new constitution, which was promulgated by His Excellency the President on the 27th of August last year. All Kenyans agree that following the adoption of the above new constitution, Kenya has been transformed for good. In particular, the new constitution is very strong on the Bill of Rights, rule of law, protection of the independence of the judiciary, protection of private property, protection of marginalized communities, and the disabled persons. As Kenyans, we note with appreciation that the new constitution is actively under implementation. The new constitution has also set up a new leadership and integrity code under Chapter 6 of the new constitution, and anybody hoping to occupy public positions will be looked upon on the basis of merit, competence, vision, and integrity. Other important changes include the introduction of new governance architecture in form of a devolved county system of government that has shifted power from the center to the county level. Also, in light with the new constitution, a new electoral system has been established, and which is expected to deliver a transparent, peaceful, free, and credible general election in 2012. On the economic front, the Grand Coalition government continues to actively implement the country's long-term development blueprint under Vision 2030, as launched in 2008, that is currently under active implementation, and that is expected to transform our country into a middle-income country with a high quality of life by the year 2030 through the implementation of 6 key flagship sectors, namely tourism, agriculture, manufacturing, wholesale and retail, business processing, outsourcing, and the financial services. We also note with satisfaction that despite the fact that we are experiencing economic and social challenges, Kenya's international credit rating was recently upgraded by Standard & Poor's to a B+. We also note with appreciation that the country's economic recovery since the 2007 general election has been gradual but positive. In 2010, for example, our country's economy grew by 5.7%, while the prediction for 2011 starts at 5.2. Due to the current global economic downturn, high oil price increases, drought, and instability in the Middle East. On regional integration, it is gratifying to note that the 5 countries of East African Community, namely Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi, remains totally committed to sustaining the momentum in the ongoing East African integration process through effective implementation of the Common Market Protocol, which all 5 countries have ratified. Indeed, one of the key purposes of the ongoing East African regional integration process among the 5 East African countries is to enable potential investors to consider it as a single economic bloc with a viable market of 130 million people, and which they should take advantage of in terms of investing in East Africa.